Okay, we are in the first match with the whatchamacallit variant, the Roiling Vortex main variant. We mulliganed to 6, kept this hand on the draw against Flooded Strand Go. So, not entirely sure what we're up against. Possibly, could be any number of decks with Flooded Strand. Alright, Ledger Shredder, that probably indicates either Breach or Murktide. So the opponent's going to go Ledger Shredder into Bobble. Yep. Okay. Pitching what? Pitching Bobble. Okay, I get to see the top card of our library. I'm perfectly fine making this trade. We get to get their Ledger Shredder off the table. And another Ledger Shredder. Opponent gets to connive again. Opponent notably doing a very good job playing around 4 points of burn here. Or 3-point burn spells, I should say. So. And that's not to say, MVL, that they weren't playing Swiss Spear in their deck. Maybe they just didn't see it in 3 games. It is a possibility. Rune Blaster is a bit cute, but who just lets that go? It's interesting. Do they let a second copy of Roiling Vortex go? I have Spell Snare. Okay. And not ideal to... Don't really want to give them multiple connives here. So, Unholy Heat... Golden Resolves. I guess we try it. They have Spell Snare gets us, as does Spell Pierce. So it puts us to 5. It goes to 4. We're taking 4, which is ouchie. Okay. With a whole lot of conniving going on. Okay, puts us to 6. If you have Counterspell, you have Counterspell. More power to you. Of course you do. So now we have 1 draw at... Yeah, we're dead. Okay. Really no way to play around that. We'll just bring in the Paths and the Firecrafts. Go down... Vortexes, they seem pretty garbage in the matchup. That's not good. Yeah, his ankle was jacked up coming into the game, so... guess I'd like to play first. This hand is alright. It's a burn heavy hand. So suspend rough bolt, pass. So opponent plays monkey go. This is kind of awkward. Like, we really want to kill Ragavan, but at the same time, our hand's not really built to deal with creatures and stuff. So, all right, that was supposed to be red mana. There we go. Let the monkey do monkey things. Cast Ledger Shredder into Bobble. Okay, so Spell Pierce is going to be annoying no matter what they have. Goblin guy's just not good here. This is the problem with the burn heavy hand against Murktide, is just, I mean, that's the plan we've committed to, but it just doesn't feel good. Life loss control, my bad. I have not updated my terminology for Aspiring Spike circa 2022. Opponent going bonkers here with their draws, so. Opponent going to 5. That's a pretty brass move. Okay, they hit us for 5. Hopefully they steal like a land off the top of the deck. They already know what they're getting with. Oh, of course. Worst case scenario, they get Lightning Helix. Cool. That's why people don't like leaving Lightning Helix in against Murktide. I think at this point we've just lost, so. Well, we can't play around Spell Snare, we can't play around Spell Pierce. So 2, 5, 6. My wife attempting to count from the other room and has no idea why I was counting. So despite all the shenanigans, if our opponent doesn't have Bolt or hit a Bolt off of our deck, we have a chance here. Okay, they hit Path to Exile, which does nothing. I mean, we can hit Boros Charm, but the odds that it resolves are very low, so. Technically this resolves and Goblin God resolves and hits them. We We have a chance, but... And our opponent discarded another monkey. So... They have a bolt, sure. Or Unholy Heat. Alright, Murktide, ladies and gentlemen. A matchup that's already rough and gets even worse when you have main deck Inspire Advantage. Or not Inspire Advantage, Roiling Vortex. So, definitely a point against that build for the deck, and probably a point in favor of Eidolon. Alright, finally, after who knows how long, we get paired against the last fish after our last two opponents didn't want to show up. So, alright. This hand is reasonable, no creatures, but fairly reasonable overall. We have a bunch of castable spells, usually probably lead on Riftbolt into either Boros Charm or Searing Blaze, depending on what our opponent is doing. Pass to our opponent here. See what we're up against. We are about to get scammed. Maybe? Yep, we are about to get scammed indeed. Alright, so change of plans. We're going to have to Rift Bolt plus Searing Blaze, our opponent's opening salvo here. And then play a game of Magic, I suppose. So you can top deck better. This is really like a 1.5 for 1 for us. You know, obviously 3 points to our opponent's face would have been nice, but getting their infinite damage off the battlefield is definitely a priority, so. Alright, just pass. No reason to play anything here. Shizo, Death Storehouse. Playing with an awkward draw beyond their opening big bomb. So we could play Swizzle Spear here, which I guess we will, but it's just dying because they clearly have a hand of nothing but removal. But yep, bolt, sure. It's a bolt that's not going in our face, so opponent's at 10, we have 9 points of damage. Swing, bada bada swing, bada bada swing, bada bada swing. Okay, so they were waiting on a monkey, waiting to have some monkey business until we tap low. Okay, makes sense. They get Roiling Vortex, which I don't think they want to play. Just hazarding a guess. Sure. Which one of my cards would you like? They're all the same. They all do 3 damage to your face. Alright, what you gonna do? Alright, so I think we just empty our hand, risk monkey hitting something that we care about. I think the only card in our deck that would matter at this point would be the other copy of Lightning Helix. Everything else is pretty live against them. So. You know, other than that one weird burn matchup, we've at least played against probably more tier decks than if we played leagues. So there are a few cards here that if we crack, we can't do anything with. Specifically Skewer the Critics and guess that's it. So we should crack one of these. Draw a mountain. So yay for lands. Burn is fine, Neo. It's not... It's moderately well positioned. It's not good. It's a dog in a lot of the big matchups right now. It's a dog. It's a slight dog to Murktide. It's a huge dog to Amulet. It has an okay scam and creativity matchup. And... yeah. So our opponent's going to 1, presumably to cast this Rift Bolt. Okay, yep. So... okay, we drew Boros Charm, which will end the game. One of these, would you like to end the game with? Lightning Helix. Alright, so we definitely want Sanctifier in deck. We definitely want Path to Exile. Vortex is a weird one. So, on the play, I could see leaving it in. But generally when they do the scam thing or evoke and then rebirth their elementals, it's on turn 1 anyway. So probably want to board these out for this game. And then Helix, Searing Blaze. I think we board out a Skewer just because it can be so awkward sometimes. This hand is pretty terrible, admittedly. 4 lands. I think we have to mulligan this against the Grief Thoughtseize deck. Seems like a good plan. Back a Searing Blaze and hope we don't get scammed. Opponent is mulliganing pretty aggressively though, so... Waiting on our opponent to decide on their mulligan here. Okay, so they decided their 5-card hand. And no, Goblin Guide's alright in this situation though. Obviously we don't want to give them lands, but we have a Spyro. Will be a Searing Blaze target at some point, if we ever draw lands. Okay. Dashing Monkey, perhaps? Collective Brutality. That is definitely a magic card. So we are stuck on one land. Looks like our opponent's going to go land Spyro. Nope, Voidwalker. Okay, would love to draw a fetch land or just a land period here. Goblin God is not the card we were looking for. Okay, opponent will have an Undying Malice. That is not a playable land though, fortunately. So it's good to know about for Voidwalker, but opponent going to have an Ob Nixilis on the top of their deck. That's terrifying. Daylight come and we bolt your face, hey you. It's possible I should have continued to hold a path here, but okay, suspend Riftbolt. Gotta make sure not to cast Lightning Helix until it's absolutely necessary. So opponent will be putting us to 6 here. They have Terminate in hand. So we know basically all their hand. I think that should cinch the game. Unless they have Fatal Push, which doesn't seem likely. And just in time because they are going to play up Nixilis next turn and do a lot of nasty things. So, Skewer, GG. I just can't keep the no-lander. This hand's pretty reasonable overall. It's either put back Canyon or if we fear taking too much damage. Our opponent's mulliganing aggressively, so I don't know how much I'm supposed to fear about the long game. So I'm going to keep and put back the Canyon for now. Mulligan aggressively generally indicates a combo deck or deck needing specific things. Like, I'm guessing Rhinos, possibly Cascade, or some other variant of Cascade, I should say. Could be Amulet, but Amulet doesn't usually play too many fetch lands, so... Oh. Burn Mirror. That's never good when they mulligan before. So, Eidolon, sure. Opponent's at least drawing all heat off the top of their deck. So this is our third burn mirror. Opponent with another Eidolon, sure. Willing to take a little bit of damage to do a little bit of more damage. A little bit. Alright, and the opponent concedes. Once again, these Roiling Vortexes are pretty pitiful. Do we even have anything for the Bird Mirror? 2 Path Exile, and do we have to bring in Sanctifier? Just to not have Vortex in our deck? Whenever a permanent entering causes a triggered ability to trigger... That's not relevant in this matchup. I guess we could theoretically bring in Firecraft. Could bring in Sanctifier, but that's just so bad. I think we bring in Firecrafts. So the reason why Sanctifier is bad in the mirror matches is because it doesn't provide the life gain benefit that Core Firewalker does, and it just requires you to fetch Shock. So I know you're not supposed to keep a one-laner, but it's really hard to turn this hand down, so keeping this one. Turn 1 Goblin God? Nope, turn 1 Lava Spike. Okay. Alright, so downside is our hand's going to deal us a lot of damage. Or our lands are, actually. And our opponent has a Searing Blaze, so Searing Blaze does whatever a Searing Blaze does. We're at 12. Yay. Alright, so much as I don't want to play out our land because of Searing Blaze ourselves, we just go ahead and do this. We're doing a lot of our opponent's work for him. Yep. Huh. Yep, double Searing Blaze draw, pretty bad for the home team. So. It's a qualifier for a tournament, so to speak. So, Boros charms us. So taunting. And our land base caught up with us this good game, which is what I was afraid it was going to do. Okay. I mean, I don't know what our opponent's waiting on here. Like, we're legitimately dead. There's no counterplay we can have to whatever our opponent has. Oh, they have Deflecting Palm. Now I understand. Still think they should have used one of those, cracked one of those things and just gone for the kill. Because there's so many things that kill us there, it's almost unreasonable. But that's the thought. I was kind of trying something new this week. 6 lands and a Lava Spike. Guess it's our turn to roll again. Pretty good hand. What am I putting back here? Feels like it's Goblin God or Swift Spear. I guess we'll go with Goblin God. Or Swiftspear, I mean. Searing Blaze. Okay. Hopefully our opponent has a creature on one. Yep, that's kind of what we were hoping for. We're going to do the thing where they're going to do the thing to us next turn, but our creature will have gotten in for 4 damage. So... And our opponent's going to have Lightning Helix. That's terrifying. Do they have a white source? Yes, they do. Okay. So, Searing Blaze hurts a lot. What? Well, that's good at least. Last game of the season, sure. Mahomes is not retiring. Brady's already retired. I was gonna say, Mahomes is like 26 or 27.
Who came back this year?
Brady.
Yeah, he retired again.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, take your money.
I'm not shaking my head at you. I'm just going, Mahomes is like...
I don't know. Your team I don't care about.
You should. They're in your division.
I don't care. They're not Broncos. Now, if he goes to the Broncos, I might care.
Oh. Well, I mean, the Waltons are buying everything else up, so maybe they can buy him up too.
Hey now.
Hey, they actually got you a head coach.
I don't like my team.
They traded for Sean Payton. That was the coach that led the Saints to a Super Bowl.
Quarterback this year, too.
He's supposed to be. Maybe he's washed up. I don't know. Alright, and we win with a Boros Charm. Nice.